Hello, my name is Carter Matoski, and I'm a senior at Carrollton High School, and today I will be talking about Marvin Julian Miller. Marvin Julian Miller was a baseball executive. Everybody knows of pro sports, correct? Well, you probably don't know how they have came into a business rather than a game. They have became both. Marvin Julian Miller has helped salaries, contracts of players, trade clauses, negotiation, and safety regulations for all the players and their teams. He has revolutionized the game of pro sports, and not just baseball either. The big three, basketball, football, and baseball throughout all of America, all the 52 states. Marvin Julian Miller was a big factor of why players are getting paid so much money as what they are getting now. Without Marvin Julian Miller, they would not be getting paid the big salaries that they are now with the brand deals by their teams and all the nonsense that they get paid from. He built it into more of a business and a game. During his times as a baseball director, which was from 1966 to 1982, he has held 2 strikes. The first strike happened in 1972, lasting for 13 days, which is a long time for a strike, but actually the second strike lasted longer than that. It was in 1989 and it lasted 50 days. He also helped create player contracts, which the teams would pay the players. Without these contracts, these players would not be playing for much as what they are, which means they would have to find other jobs outside of the sport that they're playing, whether that be baseball, football, soccer, rugby, any of those, boxing, UFC, MMA, anything like that. They would have to go find jobs outside of that, and they would not be able to focus on the sport that they are playing as much as they are now, which makes them so good, because all the time that they put into sports, the lifting, the programming of everything, the practicing, the recovery, all that, it would not be as good as the quality as it is now, because they would not have all the time to be doing that, because they'd have to be working for something else. According to Encyclopedia of Judica in 2017, the salary of players jumped from $6K to $33,500 in the time that Marvin Julian Miller was the head baseball executive, which is a big jump, knowing that they started out at $6K and they started gradually building up. And you see how much these players are getting paid now, which is millions and millions of dollars, which is a ton of money, knowing that they just play a game that they love. Well, another thing that he did was create the player contracts. Along with that, he also helped the safety regulations. Some of the safety regulations were putting a net behind the backstop so fans and other viewers would not get hurt. The videotapers wouldn't get hurt. They're putting it onto the camera for TV. They would not get hurt because the net would block the baseball if it would shoot up over the stands, and it would not hit anybody. So they surrounded the net starting from first base, and it connects over by the catcher behind him. Another thing he did was create the warning track. The warning track helped these players know if they're close to the wall. Without the warning track, these players could injure themselves, as potentially injuring a hand, an arm, a limb, a leg, their back, a neck, anything like that on their body. Without the safety track, players would get hurt more. Along with the safety track, he's also put a padding around the fence as well. Marvin Julian Miller has helped revolutionize baseball. He's made them so they can talk about negotiating their contracts. They talked about trade clauses. Big players have trade clauses. Most of the smaller players don't have trade clauses, which means how good they are. If they're a bigger player with a bigger name, they'd have a trade clause because that team would give them another thing to stay there for the team. As you can tell, Marvin Julian Miller has created the baseball into a business rather than a game, which has been both, but a business is a big part of it. And that's him right there, along with one of the teams that he was the executive of when he's the executive MLB head officer. In my opinion, he's one of the most influential people in sports history, just due to everything that he has provided to his players, the teams, the company in general, how much revenue of money that he's brought in from the businesses and other people paying the league for everything they have done. Thank you for watching.